Whoa! 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 Hey, how's it going? Well, another day, another invention. This one, as it was listed before, is going to be the Nitinol heart. Now, Nitinol, as you all know, well, as some of you may know, is a shape memory alloy, which means it gets to a certain temperature and it tends to want to form back into its original shape or tends to curl a little bit. So I was thinking about that, and I'm like, that'd be interesting to see if I could use the thermal curving or recurving properties of nitinol in a thin ribbon. And I actually saw, some videos of them, and I saw springs made of this stuff, and I'm like, wow, this gives me a great idea. Why don't we make a heart out of that? Because as long as you're warm, your heart would beat, right? Well, there's a couple more tricks there. I had to figure out a couple more things to make it work, but honestly, I think it's going to do what I really wanted it to do, and this is kind of cool. So I'm sharing it with you, the world. This, as far as I know, as long as your heart's beating and you're able to process oxygen, and all your other organs are functioning, but primarily, as long as your heart is beating, you're going to be alive. So, I think that's one of the goals with like the mechanical heart thing is if you were to create a mechanical heart that would be compatible with us and would never run out of power and things like that, basically you probably wouldn't die. I mean, you look at your oxidation state of your DNA strands and it appears to be you can reverse the degradation of aging by doing high pressure oxygen therapy in like a barometric chamber. So it stands to reason that the time between beats increases as you get older, and the amount that it moves tends to change a little bit too. Like the physical size, I think the heart grows as you get older, so you end up with, longer spaces between the beats, or something along those lines. Maybe there's more fluid moved, or the point I guess I'm trying to make is, what if your heartbeat was exactly the same from the time you were like, I don't know, 20 until the time you died? I mean, literally exactly precisely the same, as long as your temperature. And that could be a good thing too, because what if you could make it so it's like more reactive? If it was like, if your temperature was higher, it beats faster, just like a real heart would if your temperature was higher. Your temperature goes higher, your heart tends to beat faster. So I was thinking, well, nitinol is really sounding like the unique properties that I think we need to make an artificial heart out of. So without any further ado, here it is, the nitinol heart. And this is the trick. This is the trick here. I'm going to cover it up. Oh, we can't see yet. Okay. The trick, and let's talk about what this is and what it can do for people. It's a nitinol heart, biothermally powered mechanical heart. Okay. So let's think about the structure. This is the picture of it right here. This is a picture of it. You got your in, you got your out, and you can see here from the structure there's something on the inside here, and it's not just the plates. You need something to push those plates back into place, because they're going to want to curl, but you got to push them back out. And this one's kind of cool because to start it up, you start it up with CPR. It starts and resets it. You use a standard compression style CPR to enable or re-enable the heart function. If you reheat the blood and re-inject it, you can use external heat sources. You could like wrap your arms or legs in like artificial heating pads, and that would also maintain the beat on this thing, or let you tune it for like longevity extensions. Let's say you've got somebody who has like failing organs or failing lungs or failing something's failing, so the temperature, like a thyroid problem, the temperature drops down. You could technically use artificial heat to keep this thing or keep the person alive. I think a target temperature is going to be between 80 degrees and 115 degrees, ideally 98.6, but you're going to have a range with nitinol. It's going to react within those well, if you alloy it correctly, it'll react in those. So a couple things though I found I couldn't just do with nitinol. So you're going to have a couple things, INB or iron neodymium boron, or neodymium iron boron, however you want to say it, magnet. And you're going to have to use springs. So let's say you get the compression from the heat. It wants to contract. And then you're going to have apex, on the ends of the bundles, you're going to have apex snap magnets. So once an apex is reached and bridged, let's say just from the gradual beginning pressure caused by the nitinol plates changing shape, well then it's going to snap past an apex point on a snap magnet, and this is a magnet, and this is a magnet. They're both north magnets. As soon as it gets past the apex point, this is going to push it, and then the magnet's going to snap it. It's going to go. Both these are going to snap out at the same time. Snap, snap, and then once they snap out, this is going to push down. The NIB magnet is going to be pushing back on it, so it's going to go down. It's going to hit a magnetic cushion. It's going to go back up, and then you have another nitinol. So this one's a nitinol spring coil, and of course it's trying to push back up. So it's as soon as you start it, it's basically just going to keep going like that because it's going to keep snapping past these apex magnet points. And these could be tuned. There's like all kinds of different iron neodymium boron or neodymium iron boron magnet compounds that you can use, and you can get different strengths to make it so it's a perfect strength, the perfect shape, the perfect distance, so that this is going to work really, really well. So the combination of heat causing the nitinol plate to change shape, and I think you're going to also have to have the liquid because you're going to have that delta T exchange as well. I don't know if it'll pump like just sitting on a table. I think you're going to have the liquid to create that exchange, but I might be wrong. It could just have to be within the temperature range of the nitinol to be able to cause the shift. So all you got to do is have a gradual shift to move this point past the apex point of these two magnets, these same pole magnets, and then it's going to snap. And once it snaps, it's going to snap down, and this one's going to push back on the ring magnet, and then of course you got your gradual push. So you're going to have a gradual push from this spring or a gradual push from the plate springs, which are going to push you past one way or the other on the apex magnet on the point. So it looks kind of like a muscle bundle, and it has this apex snap magnet set down here, and the apex snap magnet on the end of the bundle. And the bundle just kind of sits in this retaining ring, and it just kind of sits there and does that on the spring. So you have a spring that pushes back. Anyways, so it seems pretty simple. I don't see the issue here. You do have a starting point for energy. You do have a continuous energy transfer from the thermal to the nitinol plate. So there is some energy there, and then all you're doing is pretty much stepping it up. So your exciter, as it were, in this particular case, is going to be your nitinol and your combination of your temperature, body temperature. Now, if you look here, I think that we could probably do a 2-chamber input and possibly a 2-chamber output or multi-chamber output. You could create a whole bunch of little chambers or a whole bunch of input chambers. So it doesn't have to be just a standard heart where you just have 4 chambers. You could literally have as many chambers, custom chambers, as you need to be able to feed all the little sub outputs. But let's just make it nice and even. 4 chambers in, 4 chambers out, 2-chamber input, 2-chamber output possibly. Anyway, so you can see you can use there's actually some really good valves, some really good heart valves out there right now, and I was looking them up earlier, and I don't think valves are the issue. The issue is power. I mean, most of them have like a battery pack that you wear with a cable going to micro motors, and that moves the blood around. I think with this one, if it was made correctly, and it's not just one plate that's doing the snap, it's a bunch of stacked plates. So you have an outer plate, 2 smaller plates, 2 smaller plates, 2 smaller plates going out. So they're all acting to squeeze it like hands. Like they're literally like hands. They're just, and I think that's gonna do it. Anyways, nitinol heart. It should change everything we know about medicine if they can put all this together. But it's not that hard. I'm looking at it. You should be able to do this without too much difficulty. And then, of course, once you have the heart, installed in someone, it would continue to function as long as the person were warm or hot, as the case may be, upwards. Like I said, the target temperature, top end 115, bottom end 80, multi-layered nitinol ribbon. So, anyways, what do you think? Pretty cool. Give me a thumbs up if you like it. I like it. Be sure to subscribe if you haven't. Like I mentioned on the other video, I couldn't believe that I had any subscribers on here at all. So welcome to the channel if you're just getting here. To those that have been sticking around for all these years and watching my videos and commenting, thank you so much. I love the comments. It's great to interact with people that are really into the kind of stuff that I'm into. If you're making comments on my videos, it's great to interact with you and get to know you, at least from our commentary that we can share about these subjects. We've been in need of a mechanical heart for a while for all these different people, and the waiting list for hearts is huge, and we need something that really works. And honestly, I was thinking, why have batteries? Why can't we do something that doesn't need batteries? I mean, you should be able to. The technology appears to just be stalled, and we're gonna go in a different direction than everybody else. So when I look at a heart, it's more like a hand doing that. You know, like, and have you ever done that with your hands in like a pool? You can make it squirt. Same kind of thing. And I was thinking, well, nitinol in a shape memory alloy, I wonder if we can get that to act like a heart. And I thought about it for a few years, and I came up with some ideas. This over here is kind of like what I was thinking about, multi-chambered heart, same as ours pretty much. But inside, you know, we've got a little complicated series of push me, pull you kind of things going on, a little bit of action. And let's go ahead and get into what makes it work. I guess that's probably what you all want to hear about. How's it going to make a heart? All right, so nitinol, as you are probably aware of, it changes shape when you get it hot, and it kind of goes back into its former shape. And then technically you can cool it, or you can just, I mean, it'll maintain constant temperature, pressure. So if you keep it at constant temperature, it'll maintain a certain amount of tension. Now, I was thinking, well, how do we get that tension to work in our favor? So I'm going to combine it with some springs and some magnets. And it's a biothermally powered mechanical heart, so we're going to use the body temperature to kind of like activate it. So it's going to maintain a constant tension as long as it's within 80 to 115 degrees. And then we have these snap magnets, these apex snap magnets. So as the nitinol plates, which make up the chamber, push outward, I guess it'd be like that. It's gonna try to go like that. It's gonna push this little apex magnet past this point, and these two north-north magnets are gonna go past it, and it's gonna snap. So at the same time, it's gonna snap. So it's gonna push down. And when it pushes down, it's gonna push against this repulsion or re-expansion magnet. So as it pushes down, now you've got another nitinol plate, but this one's a nitinol spring on the inside with a IMB or NIB, whichever way you want to say it, ring magnet on the top of it. So as it snaps, chunk, this one's going to push down, and this is going to rebound. It's going to say, nope, sorry, you can't be here. So it's going to push it back with a magnetic field. And you're going to get a lot of cycles out of this. I mean, it's like 2.5 billion heartbeats in your lifetime. I guess that's what you get from birth to death. This one's not probably going to be 2.5 billion, but it's going to be pretty high up there. These springs, nitinol is a very strong alloy, and you could get the shape. I'm thinking it's going to be more like a ribbon shape, like a rectangular shape, and like a leaf spring. I mean, leaf springs are good. If you do the leaf spring of the right material and you don't overload it, I mean, it's just going to keep going and going and going, unless you have a defect. But of course, this being a heart spring, you're going to probably go through the trouble of making sure it's perfect, you know, with ultrasound and some other imaging things that you could use. And resistance, of course. You're going to find out just what kind of alloy it is and whatnot. So, to make this work, how do we make it beat? Well, you're going to start it, if it was in somebody's chest or was sitting in a little tank of warm water or semi-hot water, you're going to start it by pushing on it. You're going to push on it. So we're going to push it to start it. Dink. Just like CPR, just like a regular heart. And it's going to push it down, which is going to push it past this apex point. And remember, it's in hot water or hot liquid of some kind immersed in it. And it should just start beating. It uses standard compression style CPR to enable and re-enable heart function. You could also reheat the blood. If you had somebody who couldn't maintain their temperature due to thyroid issues, other problems, you could use artificial external blanket heating, or put them in an environment where their temperature is going to be naturally higher. The desert, the beach. I mean, most old people want to go to the beach anyways to retire. Well, now you gotta live at the beach, and you can't have as much AC as before because you want to have your heart to keep beating. And that's going to be kind of an easy way to fix that as well. I've got some other designs which I'm going to share with you in the next video about heart design or fluid motion in the body, and that one's going to be cool too. But let's look at this one. So if you understand how this works, basically the nitinol plate tries to extend again, and when it tries to extend, it's got a retaining ring. See this retaining ring? Retaining ring, we could make that out of a bunch of different stuff. Most likely it's going to be probably just plastics. You know, your plastics are really, really nice, and they're super strong too. So I would say ultra high density, not polyurethane, but there's some ultra UHMW that would probably be more than strong enough to construct this heart out of. And of course it would be, I mean, there's a bunch of bioplastics you can use too. So I would recommend a bioplastic, and then you can sheath these plates in a silicone sleeve, for example. That'd be a good idea. The plates don't have to stick up. They can be machined so that the only part that touches the silicone, you could also encapsulate the silicone in a water envelope, or even, you probably wouldn't want to use oil. They already tried that with the breast implants. Oil didn't really work really well, so probably water would be best. You could also make it semi-permeable. So if it's in the body and the blood's in there, you can make it so it's like a reverse osmosis filter, so only water can pass through the membrane, and it keeps the space between the nitinol plates and the outer silicon membrane, or whatever membrane, just call it a reverse osmosis membrane. It will keep those two from hitting each other, because you have like this constantly lubricating layer being added from the blood into the chamber. So not only that, as it pumped, it would probably pump a little bit of that out, and you could even put little valves on it if you want to. So as long as it was immersed, it would get the water into that layer, and you can put them on the inside and the outside. You know, cover the inside and the outside of this this operational vein system with reverse osmosis filtration technology, and combine it with like your durability of something good and flexible, like the silicones and things like that. And silicone isn't forever, but it might last. I think we could probably also look at maybe some higher strength, longer lasting materials that the body would also recognize, which would be, you know, your carbon fibers, a custom carbon fiber fibromat grown at the right, maybe an electrospun carbon nanotube mat, where you have interconnected polymerized, you know, fibrils, where they're literally it's a flexible mat. You could do something like that. I mean, literally, you could coat the outside of the vein in a sheet of electrospun carbon nanotube matting, and then of course you have a very flexible thermal layer, and you can vary the pore size as well, which would allow you to do the reverse osmosis, which would allow water through, but nothing else really. And then of course you would have extreme durability, temperature transfer, all that kind of thing. So it's probably the best idea, electrospun carbon nanotube matting over the veins, so you can get high durability, the highest thermal conductivity, and of course the highest strength. And you get some flexibility too, because the membrane is going to be able to flex on those hexagonal segmental connections of the mat itself. All right, so like I mentioned, the nitinol is going to try to push down. As soon as it passes the apex point of these two two magnets, this one looks like it's got the it's like a bullet tip, but it can have a longer piece on the inside, maybe long and flat, so you can increase the field strength, and also the snap point itself. It's probably not going to be as I've drawn it with. It's just like a point. It's probably going to be more like a vein, where you have it pushes past it like that, and then of course once it gets past it, it has the full push of the magnet. It's going to push it out like that, and then this one's going to push it back. And then, of course, you got your return magnet, which is going to, or your return spring is just going to try to, it's definitely going to push it back, which pushes it past the apex point. Once again, thank you for coming and watching this video. I appreciate it. Thank you for clicking on it. It's great that I can share this with you so easily across this vast network of all. I heard there was like 40 million videos uploaded a day or something, and the fact that you came here and you watched this, it's great. I'm glad I could share it with you. And let's change the world together. I mean, come on. I mean, get nerdy with me. Let's figure this out and save some people. I know that there's been a big need for an artificial heart that could go long term and keep people alive and save them from, you get heart disease and all these other problems out there and genetic things and just heart damage that occurs throughout your life. And once again, if we could stave off the Reaper for a little bit, and if we're looking at human life could expand maybe another 100 years, that'd be great. I mean, the main thing that goes out is the heart, right? Let's find a replacement for that, and we'll work on the other organs as we go. All right, well, I'm Zio205 IQ. This is my channel. Thanks for tuning in to the Nitinol heart. Yeah, I can't wait to see these things out there. They're going to change everything. Thanks for watching. Talk to you later.